Alrighty, guys. Today is December 16th. Yes, Monday, December 16th. You guys are listening. You guys are listening to ISD. You're here with Devonn.
And Pierce.
Vontrell.
How are you, gentlemen, feeling?
Pretty good.
I'm feeling good.
All
I'm
right.
feeling great.
Good, gentlemen. Good. You know, I saw something on Twitter the other day, and it said "Black famous." And honestly, I see stuff on Twitter. I don't always agree with it, but that was one thing that definitely kind of made sense. It talks about like a level of fame that you have among black people, but not like really above everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like Frankie Beverly, for example, is who they used. You know, they say, oh, like, we know who Frankie Beverly is, but if you bring him outside that race, then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, who the fuck is that? You know? That was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every race is going to have something like that. You know, like, I'm sure Hispanic people, there's plenty of Hispanic artists that are popping.
We do not know.
And I don't know about them whatsoever, you know. It's just a culture, you know. Like, some cultures just fuck with certain, you know, songs. You know, I mean, even white people with country. Now, obviously, not all white people listen to country, but, like, there's plenty of artists that they probably will bang, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? You know
It's a whole nother world over there.
Completely different
Korea
world.
and China. Like, their K-pop thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's worldwide. I've never listened to any of those K-pop artists.
Me neither. But
I've listened to just to fuck around and be like, what is everybody listening to? I'm not gonna lie, some of the beats they have are pretty nice. And I'm like, damn. So I mean, there's a reason they're popular. Like, I'm sure the music's not that trash. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it can't be because they're fucking huge.
Exactly, right.
You know, so
have you guys ever heard of Fan Bingbing?
Fan Bing Bing?
No.
I have not.
Yeah. She's huge over in China. So, yeah.
Is that like a form of K-pop?
No, it's one person, and she is a singer, songwriter, actor, model.
Wow.
Everything.
Oh.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, I've always wanted to go to China or like Japan or anything over there just to see what it's like, just to see, and really just to compare and contrast how different it is from how we live here, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's super different. Super.
Definitely
I mean, I'm talking like I know what it's like.
I was gonna say, goddamn.
But just from the stories that you hear, like it's population control over there, so they can only have 2 kids.
Are you talking about China?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And then if they're both girls, it's not funny, but they throw their kids away, and it's a whole thing up there. It's just weird and kind of backwards up there.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, China, and I mean, obviously China and Japan are not the same thing, so it's not gonna be like that. But it's just different cultures, man. It's completely different cultures, the way people live, you know, what they, you know, believe in, what they think is right and all that stuff. It's different, you know. So it would be pretty interesting, but also at the same time, I feel like you got to be aware of where you're at and what's acceptable, because you can't just go there and just act like you do at home, because what you do at home could be blasphemous,
super offensive.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so you got to kind of do your research before you head over there, just so you don't get fucking arrested or some shit.
Yeah, man. Speaking of that, we leave for Atlanta in 2 days.
Are you excited?
I am off the chain excited. I cannot wait to be out of here. It's just like when you go to a whole different place, man, you just kind of forget you live here.
I feel you. No, that's real, for real. You go there for a couple days and you just kind of get consumed with the city or wherever you're going, you know?
Yeah. What exactly are we doing when we get down there?
I don't know.
You don't know. all this shit you've been talking, now you don't know?
I know. We're going to a boatload of museums, and then, like I tell everybody, the biggest thing for me, I just want to relax, be cute, and just hang out with my friends, because I spent the most money on clothes. So, yeah, that's just my whole thing. And then I plan on being drunk the entire time.
Nice.
That's a good thing. And then my friend, he lands on my birthday, and then he's going to be in charge of driving me around and getting me high. So,
hey.
It's going to be a good time.
And what are you going to be doing, Devonn? Just, are you going to be along for the ride?
Going with the flow.
Basically.
Chilling. I was going to go to a Hawks game, but that was on his birthday. And he already felt like I wasn't trying to hang out with him on his birthday.
I didn't make it seem like that. What I said was, how can you go somewhere else and then you're going to do something on that person's birthday, but the whole point of the trip was to hang out with that person?
I asked him, you said it was okay at first, but you know how that goes.
Did you invite him, or did
Nope.
you just...
Did you want to go?
That's not the point.
Exactly. I know you didn't want to go.
But you should have at least invited him. Be like, yo, like, this
not
should
the
be
point.
super dope to go to on your birthday.
No, I'm not going to, because I knew that he didn't want to go. Just
But
like how he
it's
said
the
that he
thought
didn't
that
want to go.
counts. It's the thought that counts. If
I'm
you
not
know
gonna-
no one
I'm
wants
not-
to go. If I knew you didn't want to go somewhere, and I'm like, yo, I'm
So
going
why
to
would
this.
you ask me? if you know I
Because
wanna
it's
go?
just fucking
It's a
thought
common
that. What if you do
courtesy.
want to go? What if you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go.
Right. Maybe I wanted to go for the experience.
You're full of
Boom.
shit. I'm not hearing. You're full
I'm
of
just saying. I'm
Because
just
I know
saying.
you didn't want to go.
You don't know that.
Exactly.
You
don't
don't.
know that.
What's the name of the basketball team?
It doesn't matter.
You just
Bro,
you
so
just
you're
told me
saying
what
you
it
have
was.
you have to be a basketball fan to go to a basketball game.
But you don't do
Nope.
sports. You weren't gonna go. Now you
know
want to be.
that.
How do you know?
Maybe I wanted to be
You
now
don't
you-
know
courtside.
that.
Now you want to be fake outraged?
You don't
Wow.
know that.
I'm not outraged.
Get the
I'm
fuck
not
outta here, bro.
outraged.
That's bullshit.
I'm
The
just
whole
saying,
point
you didn't
is
ask me.
exactly.
So.
The whole point is you didn't ask him, so you don't know what his response would have been.
Boom. You dropped my pen.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
I asked him, it was cool if I go. He said, yeah, sure, go ahead. And something back in my mind was telling me, like, maybe I shouldn't go.
Should have asked if he wanted to go. What if he said yes? And then
What
you
if
guys
I
could've
said
popped
yeah?
out,
Then what?
and then after the game,
And we was
done
gonna
some
go
other
to
shit.
and we was gonna go to the game.
Plus, you never asked him. You said if you could go.
Then you are.
I did, but that was after the fact. When you originally asked me, I didn't have any plans that night.
Boom. That could have been part of the plan.
Boom. That's not cap. That's the
That's
truth.
cap.
That's the truth. We have the texts on our phone.
Whatever, dog.
Yeah.
You know the truth. We know the truth.
So does the Lord.
Nah, but regardless, I am super excited for that. Just to see what life and really, I want to kind of see if we find a way we can try and get to the music scene somehow. Not saying want to go down there and drop an album, but just go down there and maybe like catch a local show. Just really feel it, because that's where hip hop is at right now. Really, everything.
I'm sure you could find something.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm sure
out
you'll
there.
probably meet somebody at the airport when you land, waiting
Yeah.
for your bag.
Probably.
So,
I'm probably
yeah.
gonna meet some aspiring rapper,
Yeah.
somebody who's trying to get on. In like 10 years, I'll be like, oh man, I saw him at the airport one time. Should have said something to him.
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed is that if you notice, a lot of these celebrities are doing that whole text me thing. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
What?
Gary Vee and another celebrity did this, where when they put up their Instagram, they'll put up this number and they'll say, all right, text me, interact with me. It's of course I texted it or whatever. I'm thinking like
Just to see.
And at first it was automated. So then I was like, and then they started talking about subscriptions and shit. I'm like, all right, well, fuck that. I'm not doing that. So then.
So now you have to pay to talk to a celebrity. Is that what they're doing?
I think so, bro. That shit is crazy.
You probably wouldn't even be talking to the
Hilarious.
celebrity either.
You're talking to their publicist.
Yeah.
Probably, or a computer. But then I've seen certain
Hilarious.
screenshots go up about people like actually like communicating with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, if you were a celebrity, would you text your fans?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I would interact with my fans.
Mhm.
Like if I had like a fan base like that, I would definitely just wouldn't like be closed off. I don't know if I'd be wanting to text people. It's obviously not their phone number. It's probably some like set aside
A
like
burner.
yeah, it's that they could not even respond to. But yeah, it'd be cool. I don't know if I would text people, but I definitely would interact with them. You know?
I'd interact with them, but I wouldn't be texting with them only because there's too many ways to interact with your friends or
Yeah.
your fans. You have every platform has a live thing now, so you
Yeah.
can go live with anyone.
Exactly.
You can also hand out your Snap. I do believe Snap is more personal than any of the social medias
Very
because you
true.
actually have to add that person
Mhm.
and they have to accept it. So, and there has not been no way around that. So, unless you subscribe it to people, but then you have to be at a certain level of snaps to subscribe to people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice how that worked.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly how that works. But yeah, I'm not opposed to interacting with fans. I won't be texting them though. I wouldn't even be giving out a number, period, because that whole giving out the number thing, I feel like that was done back when Mike Jones and everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
I
At
called
one
Soldier
point.
Boy's number.
I called Soldier Boy's number
I
too,
thought that
and I called Mike Jones' number. I think everybody did it.
I thought I was talking to Soldier Boy because the way he said the voice to me, he was like, "Hello," and he left a space.
Yeah.
And
So I
you're
was
like,
I was like, "What's
"Yo."
up?" He'd be like, "What's going on, man?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "What's going on, bro?" And then he just kept talking. I'm like, "It's a voice."
That's what I'm saying. I feel like, first of all, if you do text those numbers, like I can't imagine the conversations being that deep because, like, one, there's probably so many people texting that number, so they're not gonna sit there and just have a deep conversation with everybody. So it's probably like, oh, hey, like, thanks for
Right.
texting the number. Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're a fan. Type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure some people are really gonna try to like have deep conversations and shit like that, but I just can't imagine the connection really being there personally for me. But I can't sit there and say I wouldn't text Kid Cudi if you put the
Fact,
number out. I'd be
yeah.
like,
Oh man, because I'm
Yo.
telling you, Beyonce do it, I'ma try.
yeah.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
I'm sure if you're a big enough fan, like
I once used to
you
have
would
a
do it.
neighbor. His name was Eugene. He worked for FedEx, and he was like, if I wanted to, I can go and pull her information because he did it before, like her living information.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to beg him all the time, like, just give me an address.
You don't need to.
I know. I know.
Whoa.
I know.
I know. They back at home base. Oh, we see here that you
Nah.
searched Beyonce's address.
Yeah.
No, he said he would just do it when he was bored because it was like, oh, okay. That was like years ago. I'm not sure if
That's
he's still at
motherfucking
FedEx.
crazy.
That is dangerous.
That's
I can't
crazy.
I mean,
imagine.
but if you think about it, when we're online shopping and shit, we put in all of our information.
That's true.
That's
And
true,
then
but
whatever UPS or FedEx or
Yeah.
even a postal service, whatever information they get, that they have this information.
it's stored.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
it is
definitely stored.
confidential. We're supposed to be. But if you cool with the FedEx UPS, man,
I mean,
you
but
like-
is it though? Because if you type in your address on Google right now, it'll pop up.
that is true.
So,
But if
we're
I type in
we're also not
Beyonce's address,
Beyonce and shit.
yeah,
you know?
you know what I'm saying?
numerous ones will pop up. It's just which one is she gonna be at?
I don't know. I've
Probably
never
not.
done that,
I've
so
never
I've
done
never
that.
looked
I
up
know.
someone's
That
address
sounds
before.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
just a little
little
bit.
bit. A little bit.
Just a little
Let's
bit.
hope she doesn't answer or watch this video. She'll be
Podcast.
like,
Ah,
that nigga's
right.
weird.
Those three never work with me.
No, I'm sworn to secrecy.
Oh, you in the Illuminati?
I'm not in the Illuminati, but if you want to fuck with Beyonce, you have to be
Do you want to?
secrecy.
Do you want to see what I sent him last night?
Not even last night. It was this
It was this
fucking
morning?
morning.
Oh, that
Because he
shit
was
was
trying
so
to be
funny.
funny. It
What
wasn't even
happened?
funny. Like,
That reminds me of him. Listen, look.
Yeah. I did that when I was younger too, though. I mean, every artist
Yeah.
apparently was associated with the devil.
Yeah.
You know, oh, if you listen hard enough, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, most of that shit was just made up. But I'm
Bullshit,
sure I'm
yeah.
sure it's out there though.
it's
Oh,
out there.
it's
I'm
definitely,
definitely-
it's
it's
definitely
definitely
out
out
there.
there.
Somebody is literally at home like, yeah, I'm gonna say I love the devil backwards in my song.
Yeah, but like, how do you do that? And like, I feel like it'd be so hard to make a song and the words that you're saying like make sense and everything and sound good, and then backwards it says this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it just wouldn't sound like that.
No.
You know, like it wouldn't. But I don't make music like that, so maybe
Like that.
I don't make music in general. But
Okay.
yet,
I was gonna say I want to make music.
yeah, man, I'd love to like start doing it, but just for shits and giggles, I don't really expect shit to come from it.
That's what I want to do. Just
Yeah.
for shits and giggles. Yeah.
'Cause you never know.
You never know.
know.
You never know.
It's more just for like passion.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun. Like we
Mhm.
it's just like people who love to
It's
play
a-
basketball. It's like people who love basketball. They want to shoot hoops.
Yeah,
Same
just
shit.
to do it.
It's just there's such stigma around making music. If you tell someone, yeah, I want to be a rapper, they're gonna look at you like, oh, this clown ass motherfucker. Or they're gonna start
everybody
talking
wants
to
to
you.
be
Because everyone
Yeah.
wants to be a rapper, man. I mean,
Facts.
there's differences between like someone who's doing it because they love making music, and you can tell that they love making music, and someone who's doing it because they want to
just-
be famous and rich.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you can hear it in the songs. You can hear about the shit they're talking about. Like, you can tell when someone's just kind of copying the basic, formula that all the big songs are talking about this and that over someone who's like talking about themselves and like what they're going through and like what they're trying to do with the music. You know what I'm saying? You can just tell when like someone actually really fucks with it, and then it's just like some bullshit.
But I mean, even when lyrics aren't that deep, you can still tell that this is something that they enjoyed.
yeah,
Because if
100%.
you're listening to a new artist and you can hear them having fun on the track and you're having fun listening to it,
Yeah.
that's a dope song, regardless of what they're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like
So-
super deep,
Yeah.
meaningful lyrics.
Yeah.
Like Ray Sherman, like they always sound like they're having fun.
Yeah.
They do.
I enjoy it. I like their music, bro.
Me
I'm not
too.
even a front. Like, definitely puts you in the right mood when you're going out.
Did you like that whole double album they put out? One side was
That shit was
Sally's
it was a
and the
lot.
other-
It was a lot. I
How
have a
long
couple
was it?
songs from it, but I
Me
definitely
too.
didn't have the whole thing.
It was
Did you
just a
finish
lot.
it?
I don't.
It wasn't
probably
that.
not. No,
it was
because
more so Sway Lee chasing the pop lane. It was he was
Yeah.
trying to have a Quavo moment, basically.
it was like Sway Lee, then it was Slim
Yeah.
Jimmy, and then it was both of them. So it was like 3 albums.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was
God
like, fuck.
damn.
Like,
All
that's
in
a,
one.
Is that longer than Chris Brown shit?
No, nothing is longer than Chris Brown's.
That-
Because he
shit.
put
Yeah,
out
bro.
it was 48 songs, right?
Yeah, 48 songs, and
damn.
then he had like a deluxe version of it that had like 52 songs on it. Yeah.
that's
He
just so much
released
music, bro.
It
So
is.
much
That's
It
music.
is.
ridiculous
Like if
amount
he
of
wanted to
music.
stop, he could because he has enough music in his
Yeah.
catalog.
I just feel like
Yeah.
okay. Now I'm not gonna sit here. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
I didn't
You
either.
know,
It was too much.
Yeah. Oh. my
After
God,
like the
yeah.
10th song, he was like, okay.
You get
But
burnt
I'd
because-
imagine like a
Yeah.
lot of the songs would start sounding super similar. You know, like I can't imagine all 48 are bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there'd be a lot of filler.
I felt like it was a lot of filler,
Yeah.
a lot of testing.
Was it
a
maybe
lot
some
of
skits in
seeing
there?
what was it? Maybe a few skits. It, was,
I like
I don't
skits and
know.
hip hop.
it wasn't
I
a
love
lot of
those.
skits in that song in his project though.
No.
Do
I
R&B
only got to, like,
niggas
20.
make skits like that? I don't really be
know.
hearing.
I mean, did you hear Tory Lanez album? He's considered an R&B nigga. It was some skits in there.
I don't
Yeah,
put, I
that's
don't put
true.
him as R&B. I put him as a rapper.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like he makes
You
more.
wanna go
I
down
don't
that
know.
with him?
Both. You know.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Because everybody is doing both nowadays.
Yeah,
So.
which is kind of annoying, man. Like sometimes I'm tired, and plus, especially when it's like auto tune. Like if you can sing, by all means, go
That's
ahead and
one
sing.
thing.
Like if Chris Brown, like he can rap and he can sing, like that,
he can
you can do both
dance,
really
act,
well. So
hoop,
it's like
all
that's
that
cool, you know. But like when you're a rapper and then you start using auto tune to like carry the notes, and it's just like, all right, like just rap, bro. Like I don't know, because everyone's trying to start singing now, and I don't want to fucking hear that shit. I don't know. That's me. That's just me. Some people really fuck, and sometimes it sounds good. You know, I can't sit there and say it doesn't, but like everyone's trying to do it. Everyone's trying to carry these notes and sing like this, and I'm just like, all right, man, like this is just really tiring.
Yeah.
Like just tell me about killing people, you know?
Oh man.
Nah, I mean, I can't think of an artist that has tried to sing that I really like. For example, like for me, if say Game tried to sing or some shit, I'd be like, dog, this is weird.
Yeah, especially when they've never done it before.
Yeah.
Like it was like the older niggas, like they've never done it, and now that it's like popular, they're throwing in auto tune and starting. I'm like, bro, come on.
The best person to do it for me at least was Bryson Tiller, and
Was Bryson Tiller auto tune though?
Barely, only a little bit.
Because I was gonna say he's a singer.
He's not even a rap nigga. He's
He's
literally
R&B.
a singer.
He's
He's
an
a singer.
R&B.
Yeah.
But it's like the rap song,
The
type
trap
thing,
soul thing, you know.
Yeah.
He's not a rapper. He's an
R&B artist.
Yes.
It's just like a really weird blend. But then again, I've said this before. I felt bad for him because when True to Self came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is garbage," but it just
sounded the same.
Correct, but his sound was so unique. He has no choice but to be in that box because that's him.
I feel like that's the box he put him in, you know. It all depends. Like you drop your first album, boom, cool. Your second album, I don't know, but I feel like that kind of like what you do with your second album and how you sound, that's the limits you're putting on yourself. So if you sound exactly like what you sounded before, that's what I'm expecting from you from now on, because you haven't really switched up at all. But if you kind of take a chance with your second album, you know, like Kendrick, for example, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Two completely
Way
different sounds. Two
different.
complete. You know. Now, if he made another album like Good Kid, Mad City, like it'd probably be dope. But that's what I'd be expecting from you.
Yeah.
But because he made To Pimp a Butterfly and it was so out there and it's different from what he put out, you never know what you're expecting from him. So you're always kind of like on the edge of your seat. Oh, when you hear he's about to drop an album, because you're like, what is he gonna do now?
Yeah.
But with like artists like Bryson Tiller, and granted, he could definitely change the sound up. I mean, it's not like he's like old and shit, but like I'm expecting a similar sound. From
and
what
also,
his first
a lot of
two
people
were
don't
like.
realize his first album. It took years to make that.
Mm-hmm.
The
I didn't know
second
that.
one, like that wasn't just something that just happened. Those were just songs that he had
Exactly.
and was working on and was changing as time went on. And then with the second album, like he just didn't have enough. I felt he didn't have enough time.
Yeah,
on
I feel like that
it to
happens a
work
lot
on it. Yeah.
with artists, because
Because the first one is so successful, they want to push the second one out.
and
So
they're probably like, sorry for cutting you
No,
off,
you
but they're
good.
probably like you said, years in the making. So they're talking about what they're going through, the ups and downs, and then they drop that, and it's huge. And then the labels are like, all right, we want another album in 6 months.
yeah.
You know, then you're like, oh fuck, okay, I gotta match what
And
years.
honestly, not
you know,
many people can pull that off.
not many people,
No.
unless you already have just a bunch of music that you can like that you've been making for years that you can throw in there.
Yeah.
Then that's one thing. But if I feel like a lot of artists, especially ones that pop off like with a mixtape, you know, or like a couple songs, and they haven't really have a catalog. Once they have to do that second album, they're scrambling to make new music, so it doesn't sound good, or it doesn't compete with the first one because, you know, they don't have as much experience or music they can throw in there and stuff like that. You know, I feel like some artists obviously just are in there working and making hella songs, and some artists aren't really, you know. But again, that probably goes down to who's doing it for money and who's doing it because they love
I feel
making
like the
music.
one who did it the best, like who got away with it, was Ariana Grande. Because both of her albums that came out within the past 2 years were 6 months apart.
Yeah.
So, and it was received so well. Both albums did really great, and she had a whole tour.
Right.
Like it was
And again, and you know, for she could have easily had
those songs sitting there.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. And obviously, there's some that can just do that and make music like it just comes easy to them, you know. And those are the people that are just naturally gifted at that stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And you can't really fault them for that. But most of the time, I feel like it doesn't really work out like that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I just said she was like a perfect example
Yeah.
of doing it right.
Yeah.
So
That, and you know, when you drop a classic like a Trap Soul or like Control, the pressure to follow it up is like super crazy. Cause you know, like for example, like SZA, we've been waiting for her album Control came out 2014,
yeah.
and it's been 5 years since our last project. So they're probably sitting there working over the past 5 years to create this new project that's gonna be like astounding. You know what I'm saying?
Let's hope so. Yo, I'm not. That wasn't a knock on her.
But I'm saying though, like
saying.
even when she, like her little singles that she be releasing or has released since her album, I've liked them. Like, and I'm excited to see what she's gonna do and how she's gonna sound. I'm not expecting her to sound the same because I don't feel like every song on her album sounded the same. So,
Well, I know she had a whole album leak, or like just like it was like a year and a half ago, It was just like a playlist, I think. They got leaked and got put on Apple Music. It got taken down like within like the hour.
Oh, I know what you're talking
sure.
about because they did the same thing with Beyonce, and it got taken. It was like 2 albums that they said she released out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it was gone like that.
Yes.
So I think that was just a hack.
Yeah.
Because it was like a lot of celebrities who had fake albums.
If I was an artist and someone.
Didn't that happen with Uzi too?
Yes, I was about to say that.
Because I remember you sent that to me, and I was like, well, you didn't release that. And I looked, and it was on there.
Yeah.
And then apparently, then it was gone, and apparently it wasn't the right one. So.
Yeah, it was super confusing. What's this Futafu Shuffle he's
it's
doing?
this dance he made up for his song.
A lot of artists doing that. They'll come up with. You see, by the way, you put this in. Speaking of dances, how they're treating Shiggy. They're dogging Shiggy right now.
Wow.
I didn't know Shiggy wanted to be a rapper.
Is he?
I didn't know that either.
Is he really?
Right. I don't know.
So,
it was
I
just a
know
clip.
he like made music, but I
Oh,
never
so
really
he has a
listened to it.
song somewhere.
I feel like he does. I've definitely like. I don't listen to him like that. Though.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Wait, so
We're just like
I didn't know that.
wait, so
But
people are shitting. So he wants to be a rapper, and people are shitting
No,
on him because
so-
No, Blueface said that.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, he was like,
Shiggy has
any
songs,
comedian who wants to be a rapper, I don't think they should because it's just not gonna work. So Little Duval, oh well, he do have a song.
Shiggy got songs, yeah.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
didn't know that. But what was I saying?
You said it.
Oh,
Lil
Lil
Duval,
Duval. Yeah, Lil
yeah.
Duval
had a smash hit.
had a smash
Yeah,
hit. So he
yeah.
posted
Bitch.
that. He
Smile,
posted that
bitch.
and was like, if that's the case, then this is wrong or whatever. And then they was going back and forth. But I don't know. Even Kevin Hart has had some songs. Eddie Murphy has had some songs.
Yeah, and they weren't even.
I know it-
comedic.
I didn't
They
know
weren't
now.
even like.
I didn't know Eddie Murphy had tracks.
What?
Yes, he has tracks with Prince,
Look, he
Michael
had
Jackson.
hits.
Yes.
Really?
Hits.
Yes. Well, what's that one
Yes.
song? Party all the time.
My girl wants to
Party all the time. Yes.
That's a hit.
I didn't know that.
But yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, and then even Kevin Hart, he had a song with Trey Songz like a year ago.
Yeah.
So
Chocolate Dropper, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
think that's just his rap name. I don't know if that's the actual.
Yeah.
I remember he
name
did
of
the
song.
freestyle at the awards. I think
But
I
he
kinda
was
remember
serious because the song
Yeah.
came out right after that, and then everybody was playing it. It was
Yeah.
being played at the same time that the Smile song was being played.
Comedians
So,
can. I mean,
Yeah,
again,
and then I
Go
don't
ahead,
really
go ahead.
consider Will Smith a singer, or I'm sorry,
A rapper?
No, a comedian. I don't consider
Okay,
him.
no, he's not a comedian.
Okay,
No.
okay. I was gonna say because even he did it.
He's just a funny ass nigga.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So it can work
He's
for people.
entertaining.
But he was a rapper before he was Will Smith. You know, well, he was obviously Will Smith before, but he was the Fresh Prince before he was William Smith.
Before he was this big phenomenon.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a little. But yeah, again, it all
If you're
goes down to like how you come out. Like if you a comedian, then you make comedic rap, then you come out with like a comedy rap album, and then like the next album you're trying to be like street. It's like
What the
what?
fuck
But
you
like
doing?
if you come out, it all depends on how you present yourself. Because you can be funny and still make. You know what I'm saying? Like Vince Staples, he's funny as fuck,
That nigga's
but
hilarious.
he's also a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
because you're funny doesn't mean you can't be serious.
Right.
You know, like it's just fucking stupid.
If you're talented, you could do it. You learn how to do it the right way, then fucking do it.
Yeah, Donald Glover, he's literally a comedian.
Dude is everything.
Literally a comedian, and he is
Rapper.
Childish Gambino, a rapper, and he'll rap.
A
his
lot of
ass
people
off.
don't know that though. A lot of people think Childish Gambino is completely a
Different,
different
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, then
Yeah.
they heard Redbone, and they're thinking like, "Oh my God, who's this person?"
Exactly. But then when
and
they found out it's Donald Glover, they was like, "What?"
the guy who wrote Atlanta,
Exactly.
the guy who did that, it's
Yeah.
like they don't understand the big picture. of it.
Exactly. So that was just a stupid take on Blueface's part because there's literally someone that's doing it right
It
now.
was, and honestly, I ain't heard nothing since Blue Taste since the Tatiana
Blue
song.
Taste.
Whatever.
didn't he say in that video though? I'm not a rapper.
Who?
Blueface.
Shiggy?
Yeah, no, Blueface.
If he's not a rapper, then what is he?
I don't know. In the beginning of that video, he said something like, "I'm
pop
not a
rapper?
rapper" or something. I don't know what the fuck.
I really don't know.
An entertainer. That's what I call it. I say you're an act.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
makes
I don't
sense.
fucking know. I don't know what he is. I don't really listen to him like that.
Me
You know?
neither.
I don't
That's just
me
I
neither.
don't care.
Yeah.
But then I remember the other week, Fabo asked Shiggy to make a dance video for one of his songs.
hmm
But then Shiggy asked him to pay him, and then everybody was laughing at him like, "No, we're not finna pay you."
It was like, well, I'm not gonna do this shit. Yeah. At
Yeah.
some point in time, you got to
Yeah.
get paid for what. Like he should be getting paid at this point. Like he's big
Drake,
enough.
Drake paid him though.
But Drake
Yeah.
paid him after the fact, and that was something that happened naturally. If someone
Yeah.
is actually requesting for you to do something, then yeah, you need to pay me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
Now, had
yeah.
I heard the song and it happened to make a video for it, and then it just took off, that's something different. But
Yeah.
you specifically requested for me to do this.
Yep.
You need to pay me.
Cut the check.
Period.
hmm
And don't leave off no zeros.
So I don't know why people are I don't know why people are clowning Shiggy. I mean, he's
I don't know
definitely
why they
in the
couldn't
right.
clown at him too, because he
Yeah.
is in the right. So
On top of that, man, it's just weird how like you got some really super dope fucking talented people out here, like really talented, and when they're on social media, it gets caught up. And I'm guilty of this too, Or it'll be like you don't take them as serious because you think, oh, they're just doing whatever on the video. Excuse me, they're just doing whatever for video, do whatever for attention. But you have someone like him who could actually dance, who's talented, not really getting a shot to really explore that, you know?
And another thing that's kind of irritating me with artists is all these fucking challenges that they want to do. Like, why?
Obviously, they just want their shit to.
I get that, but if
viral.
it doesn't happen, you have to let your music speak for yourself, speak for itself.
Yeah.
So instead of people forcing all these challenges and stuff, because Cash Doll kind of did the same thing with doing her song called "Doing Too Much." She made a challenge with everybody rapping to the thing, and Nicki did the same thing with Megatron. So I'm like, it's not, and all this stems from Shiggy and
J. Cole did that with KOD, or his manager did, but they did with like the KOD challenge.
I didn't know that, but I just don't see the point in these challenges because if your song sucks, it sucks. If your song is great, it's great. Like it's as simple as that. So
yeah, I mean, people are just trying to.
I'm just tired of seeing all.
Oh, I'm tired of seeing it too. It's like, damn, you don't.
Well, it's like a trend. Remember, it was a few months ago. It was TikTok.
TikTok is still a thing.
So like, right, but it's like TikTok. It was when Chance album, Hot Shower, TikTok. Even though the baby shit. So TikTok,
the baby shit is all over through TikTok.
TikTok's still
everywhere
a thing,
now.
bro.
Yeah, TikTok is still a thing.
Everywhere, and now it's creating challenges and dances for it, like the baby and Bop.
Yeah.
Okay, but he wasn't promoting the challenge. That just happened.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If it just happened, that's perfectly fine. But these artists now are promoting challenges.
Yeah.
Just to get their song to be played and put on the Billboard charts.
Pretty much.
Oh, by the way, Billboard is counting YouTube streams now. How do you feel about that?
They've been doing that.
No,
well, I feel like
they haven't. They just decided to do that.
I feel like that's kind of.
No, you're right.
Stupid.
The RIAA was doing it before.
Because think about how many times like people just like there's playlists on YouTube. People just put it on and like go do some shit. So you may not even be like looking the song up and listening to it. It could just be playing and that's a stream. You know, so it's like how many of these are like people really wanting to listen to it, and then people it just happens to play when you're like fucking washing dishes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like that'd be kind of.
Is it the YouTube Music app or just YouTube? Because there's two different ones.
It just said YouTube.
Because if it's a YouTube Music app, I could see that.
Well, even then, I've had that.
But the YouTube Music app just came about like a year ago, right?
Something like that.
I had that though, and it was the same shit. Like it's a playlist, and you put it on, and it plays music that it thinks you would want to listen to. But I'm not picking the songs that are playing. You know, like I mean, some of them are, but most of the time it's just a playlist that plays. You know, or this is the up next one. You know, where it just plays automatically. You know, so it's interesting to see how they're gonna count that. Because
I guess we'll see. I mean, there's gonna be a lot more people bitching and complaining.
Oh yeah,
so.
The streaming numbers, I don't know if I sent this to you guys, but the amount of money you get from streaming is like super, super duper low, bro.
It's like cents or something.
Well, yeah, they're not going to give you like $10 a stream. You know how much money that'd be? I mean, it shit adds up, though.
Yes. Where the fuck is it? No. Damn, they deleted it. I saw one that was like a perfect example. It showed you everything down to like the cents, like 0.00073% cent for like 100K streams on Spotify. Or some crazy shit like that.
That's trash.
It's terrible,
because all these artists have been posting their Spotify things, and they had a lot of listeners.
Yeah, but it's just like how much money are you actually taking from that? You know. I just saw something just now on Twitter that Congress is going to ban selling cigarettes to those under 21. I really fuck with that. I think cigarettes.
I mean, but you already have to be 21 now to buy tobacco.
I'm sorry, hold on. So. Is it 18? Yep, under the age of 21. So if you can't. Congress set to ban tobacco sales to anyone under the age of 21.
I thought that was already a thing.
It is a thing. They're just making it
like national.
I guess.
Yeah, because I know in Illinois you couldn't.
You can't. Them motherfuckers be mad as hell.
Yeah,
what's crazy is now when I go to gas stations now, it's always a little boy or a little girl waiting for someone to go and buy them wraps now.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
I couldn't imagine. I'm glad
I know that. We definitely missed that.
Like
6-7 years we missed that.
Mom, can you go to the store and buy some backwoods for me, please?
Like,
she'd be like, no.
The fuck? Right?
You get an apple and shit.
Woo, it's like really tough.
I remember the first time I saw that. I was at a bus stop. And
someone smoked out of an apple?
Yeah. What is that supposed to do?
It's just a way to smoke.
It's just a way to smoke.
That's all.
It's like smoking out of a can.
Or a bottle, like a regular water bottle. Like I've turned so many water bottles into bowls before. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just you just poke a hole. It's like if you just make a makeshift bowl, basically.
Yes.
It doesn't really. It may add a little flavor, but it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't hit any different.
I mean, it might hit a little different depending on what you're doing.
The plastic bottle might be kind of cancerous. So if you're burning the plastic, you're taking all that in.
Yeah, it's not.
You're not
Yeah, the
burning the plastic.
can.
So what you do is you take the bottle, you put a hole, and then like if the blunt is little enough, I usually just stick the blunt in there, and then I open the top, and then I just smoke.
Oh.
Yeah. To give you a
Or
a
I've
picture.
used to get a cardboard like take a
With the paper towel roll.
paper towel roll. There we go, paper
Boom.
towel roll, and then say if you have like 3-4 blunts or papers or
Burn
whatever the
holes
fuck,
in that motherfucker.
poke some holes, put them in there, and then you hit it like this, and it fat ass hit, fucks you up.
Damn.
Yeah, it
You
fucks you
fucking
up.
die.
Yeah, it's
That's
intense, man.
crazy.
It's intense, bro.
Yeah.
Like people that smoke weed are like low key geniuses when it comes to inventing ways to
Because
smoke
they finna find a way to get
Yeah.
high, especially when you ain't got no rap,
weed.
no
That's what it is,
nothing.
like, fuck, what do I got in my
oh
house?
my
I got some tape, I got
gosh.
some glue.
I made a
got a
pipe out of
brick over
aluminum
here.
foil once.
Look at
How'd you do that?
So what I did is I rolled it up around a pencil, and then I took the pencil out, and then I like folded it up, and then just made the round part bigger so I could put
Nice.
weed in it. Yeah.
That's probably not good for you, but
I
Not
know,
at
but
all.
it worked. It worked. I was 16 and young. Like
Oh my
wanted the
God.
fucking, and me and my friend, we called it the tobacco pipe.
tobacco pipe.
Because when we didn't have any weed, she would put tobacco in it, and she would smoke the tobacco out of it. But I wouldn't. I know I couldn't do that.
That's disgusting.
That was disgusting.
gross.
I couldn't do it. I was
I'm gonna
like,
be right back.
All right.
Gotta
bathroom break.
go to the little boys' room.
Don't get lost on the way back. Insert your ad here. No, that's disgusting. And personally, me, I honestly think that cigarettes and tobacco should be done with all together. It makes too much fucking money.
It does entirely. That's why it won't be done. And no. And then for a lot of people, smoking a cigarette takes the edge off of like everything. Smoking a cigarette for a lot of people is like smoking a blunt to some people.
Because some people are on probation. So they,
Not even that. It's just, a lot of people are used to whatever high that cigarette gives you. Period. Like, I know certain people be like, oh yeah, after sex I need a cigarette because but it really just depends. I ain't gonna lie. I used to smoke cigarettes.
for how long?
Honestly, it was like a brief moment in time. So what had happened was when I had originally started smoking weed, somebody was like, oh, if you smoke a cigarette, it'll get you higher. And it did, which it definitely did.
So you smoked a cigarette, then the weed?
No, I smoked the weed and then the cigarette. And
Oh, shit.
yeah. Until that's how I got this scar on my arm because I was high, trying to get in the house. And yeah, you smoke the weed, you get higher, and then what made me stop was I saw myself in a reflection. It wasn't cute, so so I chucked that bitch, and I ain't picked up a cigarette since. And that was like, I want to say the last time I did it, I was in college. Because I had started again, only because college is really can be stressful, as we all know.
Hell yeah.
So I just saw myself in my reflection, and I was like, this is flick that shit too quick because it just wasn't cute.
Yeah.
And that's what made me stop. I'm like, this is not a cute look. And then every time I would smoke it, I would be smoking. Like whenever I was smoking a cigarette, I was smoking it like Carrie off of Sex and the City. I don't know if our listeners know who the fuck that is, or if you know who the fuck that is.
I remember Sex in the City.
Yeah, well, the main character, her name is Carrie Bradshaw, and she would smoke a cigarette the way that I would smoke a cigarette. So that's how I learned to smoke a cigarette, by watching her smoke a cigarette. I know, so fucking gay for that.
How?
Because it's Sex in the City. Like, and I'm sitting here saying I learned how to smoke a cigarette from watching her smoke a cigarette.
I remember my mom used
Like-
to love that show. I think we still got the VHSs at home.
I told mama, my mom, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told her I wanted a laptop or an iPad, but I also said that I wanted the complete series of The Nanny on DVD.
Yeah. What'd she say?
She didn't even acknowledge it.
Wow.
No.
None of it? The nanny, she acknowledged that?
She didn't acknowledge the nanny part. Like the laptop or the iPad, she was asking me different questions about that, but she didn't acknowledge the nanny part. But I'm like, what? Somebody finna buy me this nanny cassette because I don't care.
Do you even have a DVD player?
Yes,
Yeah, you
I
do.
do.
You're one of the few people I know that actually
I
have a
do.
DVD player.
I do. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
DVD players are non-existent.
I mean, my dad gave it to me though. But what's crazy is the nigga gave it to me with no cords.
Here, take this shit.
That's exactly what it was.
No cords.
You don't want this
attached.
DVD player? What am I gonna do with it? I got a Roku stick. Like,
Do you still own a DVD player?
My PlayStation.
Nah, strictly a DVD player.
No.
Who
Like,
no
does?
point no more.
It's
Right.
not. That's
Like,
why I was really
Unless you
surprised you
collect
had one.
movies, because I ain't gonna lie. When I was living with my roommate, we were collecting movies. Like he would buy some and I would buy some, and that was just our thing. And then, but we had an Xbox playing on the movie. We didn't
Right.
have a DVD player, so Yeah.
Who the fuck buys DVD players?
I don't even know where you can buy one at, bro.
Honestly, if you have a game system, you're not gonna buy a DVD
That's
player.
what I'm saying. Literally, if you have a Wii, you can pop it in.
Yeah.
Do they still make those?
Wii's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine.
No.
So.
I feel like
ain't seen a
I feel like the Wii
commercial
network
in,
shut
like,
down at some point.
It's
You
Nintendo.
sure?
So I don't see commercials
I
for
haven't
that.
seen a
I don't
Wii
see
commercial.
for Nintendo DS's no more. Like none of that.
Those
shit.
just stopped this year though. I saw a commercial.
Really?
Nintendo. Well, there's a Pokemon commercial. Nintendo DS was on, so that's not a Nintendo DS commercial. It was on a Pokemon, but actually stop making Wii's. I have no clue. I actually just gave my Wii away.
Really?
I was on the phone with my cousin, and she's like, "I need a game system to give to these kids." I'm like, "You can have it because I don't use it anymore." I used to use that thing religiously.
The Wii's successor, the Wii U, was released on November 18th of 2012. On October 20th of 2013, Nintendo confirmed it had discontinued the production of the Wii in Japan and Europe. So maybe it's still here, but
That's
they got other
crazy.
shit now. For
Dude, that was the shit.
the Wii
back
was
then.
fun as hell, man. I used to play that
What?
all the time.
I had the Link game with like little crossbow on it,
Yeah.
with a little arrow. Oh, I had everything.
I mean, we had a Wii, but I really wasn't into the Wii.
no,
I thought it was cool as fuck.
I thought it was dope.
We had the little steering wheels, we had the guns, we had all that shit. But I just wasn't into it.
that shit was
I
lit.
don't know. I've never really been into games. Like not. I've been into adventure games, but not like activity
Adventure games are fun as hell,
Yes.
man.
Those are the
I
best
love
games.
adventure
Yeah.
games.
Facts.
Those are the
Yeah.
type of games that I'm into.
Mm.
So
I mean, I prefer those, but I was never really good at shooters. Ever.
me neither.
I'm not that good at. Okay, like you talking about like Call of Duty and shit.
Call of Duty.
Okay, there was a time where I was pretty decent, but I used to play all the like it was Modern Warfare 2 when that was like really popping. I had an
That
Xbox
was-
at the time.
That was like eighth grade
yeah,
freshman year.
man. I was
But I feel like in order to be
I was
like
going
really good
crazy.
at that game, you have to play.
You have
to
every
play,
day.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
like literally, you get out of school and be like, yo, I remember the group of people. It was like 4 of us. Yo, you get online later? Yeah, man, sure. And then literally when you get home, 3:30, 4 o'clock,
I was never into
everyone
that.
was online.
Yeah, you had a group of people that you play with.
And an Xbox Live party.
Mhm.
Everyone's is Devonn home yet? Is he on a party yet, bro?
Yeah.
What? Same 6
Yeah,
people.
parties were.
It was lit.
I mean,
bro.
I used to watch my cousin Quentin do that type of shit. He was always in some type of
Yeah.
Xbox party or whatever.
Shout out to
but
Quentin, man. Worthy vision.
Yeah, shout out, man.
I could never get into it.
I
Even my little brother, like he is in parties right now
Mhm.
playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I
And
mean
I'm
that's
like,
it's like
I think his kids
you
are
if you're not good,
you can't join the party.
like
Don't
yeah,
be-
people.
yeah.
I remember one time I joined a party with like my friend, but his friends were in there. I didn't really know him like that, and they didn't want me in there because I wasn't that good. And I was like, damn. But I was like, I get it though, because like yeah, if you're trying to win, like you don't want some scrub on your team. But, like,
Facts.
but that's why it's a little discouraging when you to get into games like that, like shooters and shit. Because like if you're not good already, no one's gonna want to play with you.
Facts.
You know, because everyone's trying to win. Unless you're playing with people that really don't give a fuck. Like, I would pick anybody up 'cause I don't really care. You know, so I'm just trying to have fun. But there's plenty of people out there that will get on your ass. You know, you remember in KD's, I'm sure it's still a big thing, but, like, I remember, like, if I want to play on a friend's system, I'd have to play as a guest because, like, they were like,
You didn't
hey, I
wanna
don't
fuck
want you to
up
fuck
their
my KD up. I'm like,
I've never had that. I've never had
my
no one's
KD was
ever
my
told me
KD
that.
was not good enough for me to be like, no, you know. I
Yeah.
didn't really give a fuck, but I definitely had people that were trying to keep their shit up. I'm
I
like,
did
what
not
does
know
that get
that.
you? Nobody gives a
That's
fuck what
some
your
weak
KD
ass
is.
shit.
Yeah, but we were all like 14 years old,
Yeah.
so that shit was like important to us.
Right,
you know?
right.
I
And
don't- go ahead.
online, I'm sure you've seen the videos. They will talk crazy shit to you,
They
bro.
do.
They be
You
saying
fucking
some
do.
wild shit.
They be
They
wild
love saying
shit.
nigger,
Oh
bro.
my
These little kids
gosh.
just love calling you nigger. I don't know why.
'Cause-
I think you get banned now for it, but back then, oh, they loved it.
I know the last time I tried to play a game, it was Grand Theft Auto, and I didn't know that I was
Alright, bro, you don't wanna be
online.
saying it. You
I
said
know.
three
I
times in
told
30
you, he
seconds,
low-key.
bro. Like he's. Can I say it? I can say it, right?
But yeah, anyway, I was playing I was trying to play Grand Theft Auto, but I didn't know that I was online, so I kept dying. And I'm like, why the fuck did I keep dying? Here go my brother. Oh yeah, my friend, he blowing you up because we kill each other on Grand Theft. Pissed me off because I was actually trying to do something, and these motherfuckers driving in cars, shooting and throwing bombs at each other. Like, that was the last time I played a game or tried to play a game. Because playing online is it's another world on its own.
Mhm.
Like,
It was a lot of fun though.
I mean, yeah. Once I got the hang of it, I was killing motherfuckers because they had me fucked up.
Yeah.
But after that, I was just like, I can't. This is just too much because that's something you can get addicted to, and then once you get addicted to it, you play it every single day.
Yeah, my dad
day
thought I
in,
was
day out.
addicted to games at one point, which I don't think I really was ever. But like, you know, if you ever watch, I'm sure you've watched like shit on YouTube, like tutorials or like a walkthrough, or you know what I'm saying? Just like sitting like he saw me watching those one time. I think it was like some dude that was just commentating like on his games, and then he was like, "You're addicted to this game." I'm like, "Damn, chill out." Like I'm just watching.
Right.
I'm just watching it. Like
I think I was. My mom used to be that mom to be like, "Do you need to break off the game?"
yeah, I'm
I
like
used to be
no.
spazzing the fuck out. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, you. Yeah, you probably did need to break on the game, bro. I know
Probably
you used
did,
to be
bro.
wild as fuck as a kid.
Never broke any controllers though.
My sister broke one once for me, and I was pissed. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Those 360 controllers are not cheap either, bro.
Yeah, man. I remember, bro. I remember I'm sure. I know it's happened to you, where you used to cry when you couldn't beat a level. Because that happened to me when I was younger. I was just getting so angry, tears running down your face, throwing controllers and shit. Fuck, man. Some of that shit used to get on my nerves.
Used to
bro.
burn me up, bro.
Yeah, I would get so
Sly
mad.
Cooper. It was Sly Cooper used to really do that to me.
That was a game, bro.
What? I played to beat all 3.
Oh yeah. You have to. I don't know if they remastered them, but I hope they kind of do.
The fourth
just
one
so
came
I can get them all.
Yeah.
I want to get them all like on one pack. You know how they have like those.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get it all because I would play the fuck out those games.
What? Again? I do it all again.
And they probably still be hard as fuck for me too. I'll be like, fuck.
Oh man, I mastered it now. It's a cruise for me now, but even then, I'd still because there's no difficulty on it.
I mean, I haven't played it in so long, so I can't imagine. I probably forgot.
I
some
played that game so.
That was probably
much.
Sly Cooper was probably my number one played game.
Me too. Easily.
For a while, because like that was such a fun game.
Yeah,
such a fun game.
That and all the Dragon Ball Z franchises, like sports games, like for all my siblings, we're all good at individual things. Like my brother Daryl's good at sports games. I'm good at like role playing games and like fighting games. Can't nobody touch me in that. And then my sister's random's good at like Tetris, but she's like an accountant, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's super random as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, bro. But it's like we're all good individual things. My thing was though, if I couldn't get past that level, bro, like I wasn't gonna give up until I got past it. And there'd be times where it's like, Devonn, you gonna eat dinner? No.
I could see Snotty's nose as fuck downstairs playing the game and shit.
But man, like,
damn.
Jesus,
That was loud as fuck.
yeah, no, that's what's so funny, bro?
Can you turn this down a little bit? I feel like my ears are like
Popping.
bleeding.
I just keep hearing them pop as if I'm like.
How's that?
That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't want to make us deaf.
Low-key.
I never played Grand Theft Auto though ever.
Oh
Really?
my god, that was like.
It's pretty fun. It's
I
a fun
love
game.
that game.
Yeah, 'cause you can just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, there was like a cheap version of it. My friend, she used to play it, and I forgot.
What, Saints Row?
It was it the Santa? Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly
bro,
what it is.
Saints Row was that shit.
Yes, but it was
I
a
never
cheap
played
version
Saints Row
of
was that
it.
shit.
But she
Low
used to
key,
dress
man.
this girl up because you could be a girl or a guy on there, and she dressed this girl up in a cat suit. It was robbing and stealing and just doing off the wall shit. I used to crack up.
I feel like Saints Row is just a more. I wouldn't even say it was like a cheaper version. It was just more outrageous because I remember you could literally walk around with the big purple dildos and hit people with them.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's just like,
was so
what
much
is
going
going
on,
on
in that
right
game. I
now?
used to
It
crack
was-
up, and
it
I
was
never
like
even
Grand
heard of
Theft
it
Auto
until I
on
met her.
drugs, bro. That shit was fun as hell.
Yes. It was like they took everything about Grand Theft Auto that they didn't like and put it in that game. Like,
Yeah, that was a fun ass game.
I was like,
I'm not
oh
even
my
gonna lie.
god! But she used to be killing shit in the city in a
Yeah.
cat suit.
A game that everyone else loved that I never really like played was The Simpsons. I guess that
Yo,
was
I don't
the
even
shit.
like The Simpsons.
I never.
Oh my
I had
gosh,
the
I love The
taxi
Simpsons.
Simpsons one. It's fun as hell. Yeah, that
Really?
was fun as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to play that all the fucking time. Yeah,
Nah,
you never played it?
not really, bro. I mean, I played literally like the same 7 or 8 games. Then when a new version of whatever that came out, and then I grabbed that. Like Modern Warfare was the first. Modern Warfare 2 was the first game I bought that everyone universally fuck with.
Yeah.
Cause my thing is, I'd rent a game. I'd go to Family Video or Blockbuster or Game Freak or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
Game Freak,
and then like I'd rent it to be like,
Mhm.
okay, do I fuck with it? Then eventually I bought it. But my
Yeah.
thing is, once I rent it, that's the only one I get for like a week and a half, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if I rented a game I didn't like, I was stuck with it.
Damn.
And then I'm not playing it. My dad's like, I done paid for this game to rent. You're not gonna
Yeah.
play it. This shit suck.
Yeah, man. Sometimes parents just like, you don't understand.
One
man.
game that I was really into, which I'm sure y'all probably never heard of, was Animal Crossing.
Oh, I heard
I've
of it.
heard of it. I've
Oh
never
my
played
God.
it.
It was on-
I've
it was on
never played
Nintendo
It's
DS.
Popular,
Yes,
though.
Yeah,
I
it was
begged
Stupid
on
my
it. It was on
mom
and
for
popping.
that game. You don't do shit but talk to animals and live life.
Yeah.
But
That sounds boring.
it was so
Yeah.
much fun to me though.
boring
Like I
as
used
fuck.
to go fishing. I used to catch bugs,
Yeah.
and then I would decorate my house.
It was
pay
it
my
was
mortgage.
popular. I know.
It
like,
was. It
people
was a
played that.
really popular game.
I just never
I
got into
loved
it. I
that
never had a
game.
DS, so I couldn't really do
Oh,
it.
man.
Oh man,
Nintendo
that was
DS
the
is
only only
were
reason
the
why I had the
shit.
Nintendo
Yeah.
DS because I wanted to play that fucking game.
Damn.
I cried for that fucking thing to my mom.
Bro.
And one year was crazy. She bought me the actual Animal Crossing game, but I had to wait the following year to get the DS. So I
I'd be like, what the fuck
I
you
know,
do this, Mom?
I know, I know, but I was so excited though that I had the game. So when I went to my cousin's house, I went and played on her DS.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That shit funny.
yeah. My mom was a single parent. We had to
Hey,
do.
yeah, I
So-
get it. I get it. I get it.
No, I
I'm not
get it.
tripping.
But yeah, I was too geeked that I got the game.
I had the Nintendo DS. I had the DS Lite, and then I had what was the one before that?
I had the DSi, and mine was like baby blue.
I never had the I. What was the one that was just like a regular? It was just a square. You just flip it up open.
The Game Boy Advance. I had that too.
Yes.
I had the Game Boy
I had the
Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
I had definitely had a
Yes,
Game Boy
mine
Advance.
was like this.
Wait.
dark ass
The
royal
sideways
blue.
one. You thinking of the long one?
No,
They had
one
one
that flips up.
The
Okay.
one that flips up.
It's like
Okay,
a
okay.
square.
That was the
it's
Game
a
Boy. It
square
was
and
like
Game Boy Color. That's what I'm thinking of.
No.
No,
The Game
no.
Boy Color was just that
It's a
boxed
rectangle.
one,
The
and then
Game
the Game
Boy
Boy
Advance
Advance was
is
the
the one
side
that
one.
flip-
And
flips
the-
up.
No. The Game
It's
Boy
a-
Advance was the side one, and then the other one was the Game Boy like SP or some shit like that.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah,
You
because
can
that's
look it up.
bothering me. The first handheld thing I had was the flip up one, and
Yeah, I had to flip over
Yeah,
too.
th-
We
that's
was
that
what I
shit
had.
was
We used to play
hard.
Super Mario Brothers on that. Me and my brother. Oh my gosh! And that's when that was the first one that actually had the light in it, because the Advance didn't have a light in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after dark you
Oh,
can't play.
I know. It used to piss us
I
off.
used- I-
And you needed batteries for that bitch.
It was
This-
it was the Game Boy Advance SP.
boom.
that shit was amazing.
that was the
Yeah,
first one.
mine was blue. I remember I used to.
Mine was blue too.
Mine was silver. What?
My brother's was red, and mine was like a dark royal blue.
I
Like,
remember
it was
I
everything.
used to get so mad at losing, bro. And you could tell this is
Did
me.
you snap that shit?
No,
Oh.
God no.
I thought you did. I was like, yo, you fucking crazy.
I used to squeeze it so hard it froze.
God damn.
I used to be like,
I could see you doing that dumb shit too.
and I'd be like, fuck, I didn't save it. It froze. Oh, I was hot, bro. And like, if it was like a night, I used to take it with me everywhere I go. But if we're coming
Of
back somewhere and it's
course.
night,
Couldn't play. I had a little
couldn't
light
play
you
it.
could connect to it, so you could.
never had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the lights too.
Yeah.
But it was all battery operated. So as soon as the
Yeah.
batteries died,
It was undone
oh,
for.
it used to be horrible.
I,
Simpler times. Oh my
Bro,
gosh.
any of you guys
yeah.
ever had the PSP?
no.
Yes, my
I'm
brother had
so-
one.
I'm so
My brother had one. He
Yeah.
cried for that.
mad I
Oh my
missed, bro.
gosh.
If you didn't have a PSP, you was lame back
Lame
in the
as
day,
fuck,
bro.
bro.
I
PSP
never
was that
got
shit.
one.
I wish they would drop the PSP now.
Oh, it would hit now. It was
if
ahead
they
of
dropped
its
it,
time.
if they dropped it now,
It was ahead of its time.
It
it
definitely
really
was
was
ahead of its
way
time.
ahead of its time.
Because if you look at like the new Nintendo Switch, you can take it with you wherever
Literally,
you go.
they
And
should-
that
they
was
should
the whole
drop it.
point of the PSP. Like you could take it with you everywhere.
You could
go.
connect it to your account, your PlayStation, and shit. It was
Mhm.
like dope as fuck. It was super dope. I had a couple games. I remember I had like 2 movies. I had
Yeah, my brother
I
had
had
movies for
Superbad.
his too.
and I had Surf's Up, and I would watch those two switching. But I was like 10, 11, 12 years old watching Superbad with a bunch of dicks drawn in there and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I should not be watching this, but that was that shit.
Oh my gosh.
See, you guys got to like watch the movies that you weren't supposed to be watching, bro. My parents,
Your parents are a lot older than
That
our
shit
parents.
exactly.
No, my parents are not up there, but they're older too. But I honestly don't know how I got that movie because I don't think they got it for me, or maybe they didn't know what it was about.
They-
You know?
they were just
Yeah.
like, "Here, about this." My son said so.
Yeah,
type shit.
yeah. Because I got that movie and I watched it. I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Nah, I never
Oh,
I never
man.
got to like even when I went to my grandma's house, I was in my video games the entire time, but I never got to be that guy to be like, oh, I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. Like how you always talk about like movies that you've seen or black movies that you've seen that I have
Never even
yet
heard
to
of.
see, or never even heard of. That kind of shit.
I know,
Yes.
right? You saw Players Club though, right? No.
With who?
If you have to ask with who, you
Okay.
didn't see it.
Oh, my parents had a lot of those. Like, Players
Yeah,
Club.
my
My dad
parents had
that
a lot
movie.
of those movies.
We had
too.
hella movies, so like I'd be
Mhm.
watching all types of shit I should be watching realistically. If my parents were asleep, I'd put that shit in there.
Man, The Long Kiss Goodnight. What was that movie with Aaliyah and Jet Li? Kiss of the Dragon or some shit like that.
Charlie,
Yeah.
that nigga's crazy.
Yes.
That nigga is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Most
Queen of the
definitely.
Damn.
Either way though, yeah, I was
Babs.
watching all types of shit. I remember I wasn't able to watch Family Guy though, so I had to watch it on the low. Like I'd be
Yeah,
like
but I
my
wasn't,
parents were
we weren't
upstairs.
allowed to watch Family
I'd
Guy
turn that shit
either.
on the minute I heard like a step downstairs, blast channel to like Disney Channel or something, you know,
Yeah.
just so they didn't think I was.
You got a TV in your room?
No, I was
Yes,
talking.
I had a
right,
TV in
when
my
I was
room.
younger.
Yeah.
I had a little thing that it came with the built-in VHS player and shit. It had a little crack in the screen. Yeah, I was low-key bogus as fuck, but yeah, I had it though. I had it.
Yeah, we had a TV in our room. Me and my brother, we shared a room up until we was like 16, and we had TVs in our room.
Never had a TV in my room.
Really?
Ever.
I don't have. What's crazy is now that I'm an adult, there is no TV in my room. Like when I was in my last apartment, well, it's TV in there now 'cause it's a studio.
I was about to say,
But in my last apartment though, I didn't have no TV in my room. It was only a TV in the front, and then Darius had a TV in his room because I just didn't see the point in it anymore.
You know what? Whenever I live on my own, like, I would like to not have a TV in my room because first of all, you're not even supposed to have a TV in your room. Like your bedroom should literally be for sleeping.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it should just be like, okay, I'm going in here to go to sleep. So if I especially if I live by myself, I'm just gonna have it in like the living room.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
There's no reason to have it in your room.
No,
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So like, if I know me personally, if I had a TV in my room, I'd be fucked.
I had a radio in my room.
I had a radio.
I did too.
That's
I
when
had
I
a
first fell in love with radio. Like
Yeah.
I remember on Sunday mornings though, I couldn't play like any GCR or like any Kiss FM. Not on God's date.
God.
You a good one because I used to be like, shit, he made this, so we gonna play. Turn it up before we go to church.
I don't know, man. When I move out, I always like, you see like in TVs and like movies, it's really unrealistic, but like you see like these actors have like these like huge lofts. And you walk down the stairs like this, like they're like stained glass windows. That's in a church. You know what I'm trying to say? Huge like.
I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere got
Body.
stained glass windows in their house.
I wouldn't like that at all.
It's a look.
Some stained glass windows are cool. As fuck,
Right.
though. I mean, it depends.
But in
on
personally, me in my house, I'd rather just have regular windows. But
Honestly, if I know I don't want a house because I feel like I'm gonna be alone forever. I want a nice loft. But if I
saying
was
that
to
shit.
ever get a house, I want Florida ceiling windows.
floor 2.
Florida.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you said Florida. I was like,
I was like, I never
I
heard of
said
that.
Florida ceiling windows.
yeah,
didn't I?
you did.
said
But
Florida.
I heard Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't say Florida. I'm sorry.
And
I
I'm
was like,
like, I never heard of that design.
No.
Right. I was like, I was trying to think like, okay,
There's
the
like this
concave,
whole
like,
wall
how
right
is
here
it?
Yeah.
just being a fucking.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
That'd be dope.
fire.
It'd just be weird, like.
I would only have it in my living room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not in the bedroom. No, that
Not
shit
in my
weird.
bedroom, unless I was like on some type of thing and all you see is just water in the lake. Then sure.
Yeah, because I just don't
But-
want people,
Right.
because it'd be easy to see people to
See, it's in my bedroom.
see me naked and shit, cheeks out, walking around and shit.
Yeah.
At the same time,
If
I
I have
don't
the
really
body
give a fuck.
for it, I
though.
don't give a fuck.
I wouldn't give. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to look, you can look.
Same.
As long as you're not trying to come into my place. But then again, like, it's so easy to see what you have in your crib. You know, it's just like windows.
I mean, I feel like you have to have no neighbors in order to do that.
yeah,
I don't think
Facts.
I'll have
or
no
live in like a
neighbors.
gated community type shit. You know,
And
where like there's
everybody and then
security.
there's another
Yeah,
house on the block like
yeah.
That's like 100 yards that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or like you could live in a loft that's like 10 floors up.
like the penthouse.
Yeah, like a penthouse. I would definitely do something like that.
That's what I want to do.
That'd be cool as fuck. Yeah.
What?
That's exactly what I want to do. Only because I feel like if you're a single person and you're living in a house, there's too many ways for the killer to get in. And you could have weapons stored throughout your house. But let's be real. If something happens and you're trying to react too fast, you're not going to have time to run and go get that item.
Unless it's right next to you.
Unless that's the only
grab
way.
it.
Yeah, that's the only way. But other than that, you're basically dead. Otherwise, if you're in like the penthouse, for one, they have to go up through like 50 floors to get to your floor.
Yeah.
For 2, it's a
Yeah.
doorman. For 3, again, it's other houses that leads up before you
Yeah.
get to my house. So it's just a little.
Or if in a gated community, it's like hard to get
But
in.
even still, gated communities, people can climb fences. It's ways to get into a gated community.
That's true.
True. I
That's
mean, if
very
I was really worried about someone breaking into my crib, like if I was some person with some type of status, I'd probably have security measures put in place. You know.
Period.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
have my door open. I'm gonna have.
Because like I
shit
think someone broke
locked
in
down.
Kevin Hart's house. Someone definitely broke in Big Sean's house or like recording. No, it was his house a few years ago, and they stole like a ton of hard drives full of music on Big Sean and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Taylor Swift had a couple stalkers.
Oh yeah, her starter was
Yeah.
climbing the fence and hiding in her house and
Yeah.
shit.
Aaron
I think
and-
Rihanna had somebody.
Aaron
in her
Andrews
crib.
had one too. You know that
Yeah.
ESPN sports reporter.
Yeah.
There's literally photos of him like taking photos of her checking into a hotel.
This is weird. I'm just
Weird
like,
as
I mean,
I just
people
don't
out
get how
there
you
like
can
that.
become so obsessed with someone like that.
I don't know.
Like,
I think John Lennon died because the dude was trying to get another celebrity's attention, so he killed him. Yeah.
That is
And
fucking.
there's actually a
nuts.
picture of John Lennon signing an autograph for the dude who killed him like a couple hours later.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That is ridiculous. Would you guys ever have in your heart to kill somebody?
it
Oh
depends.
yeah, yeah, I do it. If like I'm not just gonna be out here killing motherfuckers,
Not
but if
saying-
I, if,
Right. If you
if
had
I
to,
needed
if you
to do
had
it,
to.
Had to.
if I needed to do it, of course. If it's my life against their life, I'm choosing my life every time.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? So it might suck. I might like have some nightmares about it, or like I don't know how it's gonna affect me because I've never done it, obviously. But like yeah, if my life is in danger and I have to kill you to save myself, who wouldn't? You know, I feel like that's pretty obvious.
I would actually no. You would. I was actually talking to a friend, and she had said, she didn't know if she have it in her heart.
She would rather die than save herself.
She said she doesn't know. She said like to just the actual thought of her ending someone else's existence, even though it's a defense for herself. It's just like she don't know if she could like live with that. She told me she would pretty much freeze.
You never know what you're gonna do until you're in that situation.
That's correct. Yeah, so I'm sure everyone.
Like,
I'm
you
sure.
can speak hypothetically, but until you're actually in a situation,
Yeah,
you won't know.
I just know that if it's gonna affect me or my family at all, you know what I'm saying? Like if I walked in and someone broke in and was trying to hurt my mom, I'm fucking them up.
Yeah.
I'd probably go to jail because I did too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I feel like I could do it.
Oh my gosh, do you know who Chewy is?
Chewy?
Yes, from the Chelsea Lately show.
No. I feel
the
like
midget.
Yeah.
He died yesterday.
Damn.
I know. I just needed somebody to have
sound
that
excited.
Because it happened. I found out when I was with him, and I'm like, oh my god. And he was like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, stop talking to me, because I couldn't. I was like, I don't have time to.
I need
explain
somebody
it.
to
Yes.
clear the way.
Yes. So that's why I was a little excited, because you know who he was. Yeah, he died in Mexico last night. He was 63. It was really sad.
There's been hella people
Rest in
dying
peace,
lately.
Chewy.
Yeah, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Did
Rest
they
in
say
peace to
why he
everyone
passed
that's
away?
been
No, details are still being. But I was just so heartbroken that he died. Yeah.
I've never really no, that's not true. I was gonna say I never really felt a connection to someone famous who I didn't know that died, but that's not true. Because when Nip died, that kind of sucked. Not saying we're connected, but like I felt that I was sad, you know.
It wasn't that I felt a connection to Chewy. It's just he was just a lovable dude who was always cracking a joke with a smile on his face.
You know
and
what?
People
I'm
laugh.
sorry.
Go ahead.
But you know what? Which one celebrity death hit me the hardest? Probably Steve Irwin. When I was a kid, man, when I found out he died, I was like, what? That shit tore me up. Still to this day.
I never really watched the show.
He was. I mean, I watched the show, but he was just like such a nice
cool
guy,
dude, yeah.
man. So positive. I never once heard anything bad about him. You know, he was just the way he was dealing with animals was super fucking cool. You know, and then I used to watch this shit all the
He was
time.
a crocodile hunter, right?
Yeah, he used to be jumping on crocodiles and
I
just
never knew his name.
interacting with.
I've just always known him as the crocodile hunter. So
Yeah, but that one, when I found out, I was like, damn. That Mac Miller, I didn't believe it.
That
for a minute.
shocked me. I was like,
Yeah, when I
shit.
saw, even after all the posts I saw, I was just like, no, there's no way. I was just thinking that he was gonna come out and be like, I'm not dead, but yeah, he was. I was like, wow. And now, like hearing like a verse from him, it's just kind of like,
Spooky
you're never
shit.
gonna hear that again.
Yeah.
You know, it really fucking sucks.
Spooky shit. But moving on. Let's see what else we got on the
That got
docket.
depressing.
it didn't it?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I tried to glide us out of there, but I
Man.
don't know how that really works. Let me see what else we got in here. There's a lot of shit we never get to that we end up passing up, because then we end up just talking about like whatever
Other
the fuck.
shit, yeah.
Let me see. Cultural appropriation. Do y'all really want to talk about that?
It depends. Why is that in there?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, we are. What is, and educate me, please. What is the issue with white women wearing braids?
You really want to get educated on that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked. Shit.
You can go ahead. I
gosh.
want to know what you want to say.
Cause it's not an issue to me, because I feel like women can do what they want with their hair. But the cultural appreciation is like a white girl with some box braids in her head. Why do you have box braids? And do you know why women of color put box braids in their
I
head?
don't know.
Sometimes it's to grow their hair out. Sometimes it's
Okay,
because
I've
they
heard
don't want to do their hair.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just it's an effortless, easy look.
Okay.
Or sometimes they just bald. So it varies. But for a white woman to go and do it, it's like it just always it's just not received well. I don't know how to explain it without sounding ignorant, because people do listen to this. So I don't want to offend nobody.
Yeah.
But when a white woman, like, say for instance, it's like that white girl Cassie, she's a donor, and she had grills in her mouth at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought she was doing something. And then when I was talking to her about it, she felt the need to explain to me that everybody that she had dealt, because I had screened her once, and everybody that she was dealing with was black, and her kids are this and her kids are that, and all that type of shit. So I felt like she was trying to impress me in a way that she thought I was going to be impressed. That the fact that she had a grill, or she was down with black people, or something like that. That's just how it comes across when white people do shit like that. So I don't know. It's just like everybody with the lemonade braids. If a white woman went and did the lemonade braids, they would be up in arms about it. because
It's just hair, bro.
Yeah, man. I just don't see why it's a problem.
I'm trying to understand the issue. It's just hair. It's not like she's sitting there saying. Now, if someone comes out and was like, "Yeah, I'm black. Look what I did." That's different. You're not black. But for someone to be minding their own business and want to put box braids, whatever they want in their hair,
or dreads, or whatever. What it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Is,
but
really.
then for someone else to come at them like, "You can't do that because you're white. You're this. You're that."
I've seen.
But even still, though, but if you think about it, for white people to go and do it, these are the same people who are telling us that we can't wear our hair like this to work.
Now that I understand.
So
But that still doesn't sit here and that still doesn't excuse you to go and be like, you can't do this because you're white or because you're not black.
It's all in the same category. It's just like when black people find out that other black people are with white people, and they be,
that's stupid too.
I know. I'm saying it's all in the same category.
I feel like when it comes to I guess hair, since we're talking about it, some people might get mad at white women for having whatever type of hairstyle, but what about when other people are wearing like straight
bundles
or
that has been
weaves,
thrown. White people tried to make that an argument as well.
Yeah, and especially if it's somebody else's hair, like from that, and it's from fucking
Cambodia.
Brazil or Cambodia or whatever the fuck, like. That's not your hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what your hair looks like naturally. Obviously you can get it to look like that, but I just feel like it's fucking hair at the end of the day. I just don't see the issue.
It's just
like, does it really bother you that bad? Now, I understand the argument is like, well, you sure shitting on us for having dreads or braids or whatever. Now you're doing it. Now it's all, cool and shit. I understand that argument, but, once you educate people on, all that shit, at the end of the day, it's fucking hair. Like, if it really bothers you that much, like, get a grip on your life.
Yeah, man. And then mind your fucking business.
It's like when white people discovered the bonnets last year.
Yeah.
That was culture appropriation only because they said this sleeping in silk makes your hair grows. Like, it was a whole article on it, and the girl was selling the bonnets for like $100.
That's
each.
Fucked up.
Yes,
that's fucked up.
Yes,
I don't know how much bonnets go for, but definitely can't be no $100.
It's literally like $2-3 for a bonnet. It's never $100. Never $100. But she ended up retracting her statement and apologizing to the culture because that was something that we have been doing since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So it all varies. It all varies.
Yeah. Like I said, and I get that, especially if you're acting like you discovered something when another culture's been doing it for fucking ever and you're making hella money off of it. Like, but I feel like as long as you either understand that or, at least show appreciation. But even then, like, I remember Kim Kardashian she had some type of braids in her hair.
And people were going.
Yeah, and then she said she did it because of some actress that did it back in the 60s, 70s who had braids. And she was a white actress, and everyone was like, "Well, actually, way back in this time, this is." I'm just like, I don't expect people to write a fucking history paper on why they chose to do what they did with their fucking hair. Like,
it's your hair.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you really that bothered that someone did that with their hair? Like,
the wrong people care.
I don't see the issue. Maybe because like I'm a guy and my hair isn't.
Because we're not complaining about white dudes going to get fades.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't care.
I'm not
or
gonna shit on them for
do-rags.
that.
I don't care.
Right.
It's just like if that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do.
Or wearing Jordans or none of that shit, bro. It doesn't phase me.
Honestly, Jordans was made for white people anyway.
Why you say that?
Jordan said it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, in terms of pricing, right?
No, as in terms of who he was marketing to.
Right. Well, that's marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, like, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
Like, it's not like, it's specifically just I lost my train of thought for that thought. I was about to say, fuck it, whatever. But shit like that.
Never that deep. Although I do, like, when I do see white people with dreads, I don't necessarily get offended. It's just they all look dirty. And I hate to say it.
But if that's what they want to look like, that's what they want to look like.
I don't think nobody is achieving to look dirty. Like,
but
especially when you
some of them might be.
See people with dreads and they be all neat and nice and styled and everything, and then you just got that.
My thing is hair or Jordans or whatever doesn't define my blackness, so I'm really not.
No, it doesn't define mine either.
So I really wouldn't care. And like you said, that lady apologized to the culture. What the fuck is the culture?
Thank you. Like
that shit is a mess.
The culture's a lot, man. There's a lot that goes into the culture.
It's always changing. No, it's everyone's putting stuff in and taking stuff out. We're trying to cancel this. What the fuck y'all even want? That's why
I don't think anybody ever knows what they want. I feel like a lot of people just go with the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean that's usually most.
Yes, that's usually most people. But usually people who have problems with the white girls braiding their hairs is usually black females. So
yeah, I mean I've noticed that.
Yeah,
and I'm not knocking black, black
no,
females
not knocking
whatsoever.
them for it.
I can
them for it.
I'm sure that they are justified in why they feel that way, But I just don't really give a fuck what you want to do with your hair. You know what I'm saying?
It's your hair. it's
exactly.
yours. And if he was bold enough to do it, then fucking do it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, right.
You ain't gotta apologize for it.
I don't care, you know. And
I don't know. Do you feel we'd be having the same conversation if we were all flat out just white right now?
having the same conversation, like with the same like viewpoints on it.
It'd probably be different, right? Because our views on it would be different.
You probably
No, I'd still feel like hair is just hair.
yeah, but it'd probably come off worse for us because
We look like we're racist
Hair
or
is
some
hair,
shit.
and they're
Yeah.
like, well, it's not just hair. And this is, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna come for us.
Probably.
I don't
I'm sure
care.
like,
I
you
don't
guys
give a
don't know.
fuck.
I mean, this happened before. Saying did someone call us like coons or some shit?
Oh yeah, they called us
Because-
coons.
What were we talking?
We were
What
talking
did we talk about?
reverse
Where-
racism to police. Police
Oh.
and reverse how black people can be racist
Oh yeah,
Towards
yeah,
police
yeah,
stuff. That's the
towards
truth,
white people
though.
in general. But
Yeah.
it is the truth.
That's
but,
the
oh my
truth.
God, what?
It's certain people that I've been in cars with. Every time they see the police around them, they just completely change.
Yeah.
And I be sitting there like, what are you doing? Oh, you didn't see the cop right there? I didn't draw attention to myself like you just did. So
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
scary ass.
I know.
Want to sit all tight 10 and 2. You know
Right.
you don't drive
I'm
no
like,
10
you're-
and 2.
You draw attention
You a
to
good
yourself.
6
That's
from 7.
drawing
You know
attention
10
to
and
yourself.
2.
Like,
your knee.
You're right.
Man.
Now you're going to be all 10 and 2. Nah, fuck that, man.
That's hilarious.
My thing is, if you want to avoid trouble with the police, then don't do shit that can incur. A lot of times people say, a lot of times when people say, oh, the police are bothering me, I wasn't doing nothing. 8 times out of 10,
it's the truth. It's the truth.
There's instances. Okay,
There
I'm
is-
not gonna sit here and say that everybody that gets gets fucked with by the police
No.
is doing something to get fucked with. Sometimes there's plenty of people that are just walking down the street and they fit a profile and boom, they get ran up on or whatever the case is. I mean, that's obvious. It's out there, you know. But I feel like a lot of people who claim to, you know, oh, the police did this to me, this and that.
They
to
were
me.
doing something.
They were
You
that,
doing
and
they were
that's what I'm trying
They
to
were
say.
being disrespectful. You know, like how many times have you seen videos of like on, you know, Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, whatever, where like someone's like has a camera in the cop's face and is being mad disrespectful, and the cop's just like, you know, like,
Just sitting
you know,
there,
just trying
yeah.
to trying to do his job, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, fuck this, blah, blah. He's just like, fuck, like, can you just
Chill out.
you didn't use a blinker, like that's all I'm trying to.
And
fucking
then
bring
another
up. It's like-
thing too, we tell not us, but people tell on themselves. Y'all get on social media and be promoting y'all activities like, oh, sell for me, or y'all get and post up all this money. Y'all don't know y'all are being watched.
yeah, exactly.
Where are you getting this money from? Just like last night, I won't say his name, but he was on social media last night cracking cards, selling crack cards. I'm like,
Dumbass.
Yeah.
dumb.
And then when
Dumb
he
as
gets pulled
dumb.
up on you,
Fuck.
be like, oh, why the cops
Yes.
fucking like, well, bro, you literally were
Like,
promoting your illegal
oh
activities online.
My gosh, I couldn't believe that. I was like, wow, y'all just
Dumbass.
don't listen. And then actually, it was another story on this guy. He got hired for Wells Fargo Bank to steal. The
Oh,
votes.
yeah, that dude. Black dude, right?
Yes, he
Yeah.
stole $88,000 and went on social media to flex, like, and got. That's how
Oh
he got
yeah,
caught.
and then he had the
yeah,
thing,
that's how he
the
got
money
caught.
phone and shit.
I
I
was
saw
like,
that.
you
I
fucking
was like, bro,
stupid,
you're
because
so
had you not
fucking
said anything,
stupid.
you probably would have got away with that.
That's why people. I
Like-
feel like people are more focused on how they look to other people, because people want to look rich and people want to look, you know, like wealthy and like they're making moves and shit. So even doing some shit like that, or you're stealing money, they don't know who the fuck did it, and then you're gonna go online and post about.
Knowing that they probably
That.
looking for it.
Yeah,
like,
and then you're gonna, bro. Like,
And you're an employee, you're the
stupid,
first person
man.
that they looked
You're
at.
Come on now.
stupid.
Dumbass.
and you happen
Stupid.
to be black.
Yeah, so that
come
makes
on
everything
now.
look worse,
That
bro.
makes everything look worse.
I saw this. I
like-
saw this tweet. It was hilarious. This dude said, "A lot of y'all have acne because you put money up to your face."
Period. Because money is disgusting. Like, it's in between bitches' asses, wrapped around niggas' dicks
On
and shit.
floors.
Yes, it's disgusting. Like,
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. You know, people do dirty
Yo,
shit.
I remember one time.
You're probably right though.
I had-
Right?
You're
Like,
probably right.
Let me wrap this
I
under
had,
the-
What are y'all talking about, man?
Because you gotta think about it. These hoes who be out here getting money, and these niggas probably be like, let me wrap this dick in some hundreds. She can take it off, and when she done taking it off, she can
Like,
suck it right.
I mean, like, yeah, maybe. It's
Money is
probably-
disgusting.
I'm sure it's happened.
Yes, I know it's
I know it.
happened.
I know money's gross.
Motherfuckers having sex on money and shit, and y'all holding it to y'all face.
First of all, paper cuts.
man.
That's disgusting.
Paper cuts.
That's gross. Shit, don't move at all. You sitting there stiff as hell. Oh shit.
Oh my
Continue, sir. Sorry.
Man.
I was just saying, I've dealt with money before, where like I've been given it, and there's been like blood stains on it.
Yes.
Whoa.
Gross.
Damn.
Like, what did you? What
Like,
guys,
bitch.
how did you get this?
Was this in your
Yeah.
back pocket when that period hit?
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah, you
my
gotta hold it by the
God.
tip. No, I don't want
Ugh.
that. Take it back.
That's fucking gross.
Throw it away, throw it
Oh,
away,
my
throw it
God.
away.
Disgusting,
No,
man.
no, I do write on money sometimes just to see if it'll come back to me. It's never came back to me.
Until one day you're gonna see, like, oh my god.
Oh
I
my
know. I wrote
God.
this like 10 years ago. Like, what the fuck?
Never spending this again.
Man, it's meant to be.
Yeah, fact, man. No, I understand. I just I barely even carry cash now. To be honest with you, now since we're on the topic of money, and it's honestly a bad thing, especially because my credit card got hit and everything. I never carry cash.
I don't carry cash either. I only carry cash for 2 reasons. When I'm gonna buy something I shouldn't be buying, or if it's time to go get my maintenance done on my hair or my eyebrows, 'cause I use cash for those things. So
I have cash all the time 'cause I'm in fucking service. I just have it. I try to throw it in the bank though when I get the chance to. I hate having cash on me personally.
Question: do weed men specifically not take card because of the fact that if you have so many transactions over a certain amount, the IRS is gonna look at you?
Probably. I'd imagine. I've made the transactions where I've like sent money, but it's never been like
the IRS
here's
only looks at
$150
you if it's anything over $10,000. So
I'm sure a couple $40 transactions aren't really gonna,
Yeah.
especially because $40 could be for anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, and people aren't putting in the notes like this is for weed. You know?
Right. Even the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No.
I just know there's a mechanic I know, and specifically he's retired, so he just does it like out of a garage he rented. But literally, you only pay him in cash because he used to get checks. And, car repairs a lot of money, so he used to get checks for $400,000 and thousands of dollars. You try to deposit all, it's like, yo, where the fuck you get all this money from? You're not because he's not listed as employee anywhere. He just works for himself.
I mean, that check comes from somebody's personal account.
Right, but I know
So
specifically.
it's a little different.
Yeah, but then he would like tell people that you can only give him cash because of the fact he doesn't want people like barking down his ass in the government and shit.
I mean, if he's just doing mechanic shit, I'd be like, I'm just doing mechanic shit, bro. But I get it. Yeah, it's probably just a hassle. Don't want to deal with that shit. I can go for some pancakes right now, man.
That shit was smack.
I haven't had pancakes in a minute. I love pancakes.
Good.
You guys like your pancake? I like mine a little dark. I'm not gonna lie.
I like mine's like brown.
Yeah.
Not dark, but
I mean, not obviously not like the tablecloth, but like.
yeah, I know what you mean.
You
I
know,
what
like
you
just a
mean,
little bit,
dark.
a little dark.
I like mine to be that golden fluffy color.
Alrighty, guys. Unless you guys have anything else,
I mean, it's only 5:45, man.
5:45.
do you guys have anything else?
Anything else that we want to talk about?
Oh,
Oh well, real quick.
go ahead, sir.
So I'm single again, y'all. Y'all know this.
We know that.
Yeah.
That shit was
so I posted this picture on one of these apps, and it was like I identify as trans slender because I'm not fat. It's like I'm fat, but I'm fat, but I'm skinny, so I identify as trans slender. Whatever. It was something along the lines of that.
Skinny
Do you know people be hitting me up and was like, I bet you your picture pisses off a lot of people. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's the complete opposite. What's even crazy is you never know how many people got a fat fetish. So,
That's true.
That's true.
so
That's
yeah,
real.
I get like
That is
tons
true.
of unsolicited pictures that I don't want. But then when they be like, well, let me see a picture of you, and I send a picture of me, do you know they telling me now that I am not big enough to be considered fat?
I tell you that all the time.
I don't care.
It
doesn't because how I look in my eyes is different from how I look in your eyes, and how you look in it's just we all
That's
view
true.
ours.
Correct.
Yeah. So and then actually somebody said if you was to actually see yourself in person, you wouldn't even recognize yourself because
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't recognize yourself.
you wouldn't recognize yourself. So
I feel like I would though. I feel like I'd be like, that nigga looks like me.
mm,
I've seen it. I've seen someone that looks like me, and I'm like, I couldn't help but think about it. I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I've seen someone who looked like me, but I'm related to all of them. So
Oh, okay, well, that doesn't count.
actually, people used to tell me, "Have y'all ever seen The House of Pain?"
Mm-hmm.
People
Tyler
used
Perry
to tell
thing?
me, yeah, the Tyler Perry thing. People used to tell me I used to look like the little boy Malik.
Really?
Yeah, I used to get that. I look like Victor Baxter from That's So
Victor
Raven.
Baxter.
Yes, they used to tell me I look like him. They told me I look like Lawrence Fishburne.
Yo,
I've gotten Will Smith once or
Lawrence
twice.
Fishburne?
Yes, yes,
Damn.
yes.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah,
Damn.
I've even gotten The Weeknd.
What?
Yeah, people tell me I look like The Weeknd.
Fuck
I don't
Okay.
see
No.
that.
What?
Yeah.
Was
The
your hair
worst-
different?
It was longer at the time. Yeah.
The
But,
Weeknd.
Nah.
The
That's
worst one that I
hilarious.
think I've got was Khalid. Somebody told me I look like Khalid.
I'd have to see. This must have been a while.
It had to be when you were a
Probably
kid.
when you
Yeah,
were younger.
I didn't have no
Yeah.
facial hair.
Yeah,
or
you had to be
anything.
younger.
He's
Yeah.
darker than you
That's
too.
funny as
He
hell.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his name, yeah, no.
as fuck.
No, it was just anybody who was chubby and bald at the time. That's
The
who I
Weeknd?
looked like. Yeah, The Weeknd.
Was he ever chubby? I
No,
don't
he
think
was never
so.
chubby. This was like 2 years ago. My hair was a little longer.
Yeah, but
My
he's like
curls is everywhere.
light skin.
Completely
I'd have
light
to see what you
skin.
looked like. Maybe I could see the resemblance a little bit.
Either way, I don't.
I've gotten
So,
comparisons to people too, and I'm like,
like,
no,
what the fuck? Okay,
not at all.
right. And
Someone-
then the other day, I was at work, and somebody thought I was like one of the internet personalities, and they was so sure that I was. They was trying to get my attention and all. So I finally went over there. It was like, "Ain't you such and such?" I'm like,
This
"Girl."
yesterday at the mall?
No, this wasn't at the mall. I'm saying this is when I was at work, just like a
Oh.
week ago. This lady was trying to get my attention because she thought I was somebody off of Facebook, and I'm like, "Girl, if I was somebody off of Facebook, why would I be here?"
Yeah, for
Like,
real. For real.
no. She was like, "You look just like him." No, but I never cared enough to ask who it was because I'm pretty sure I don't look anything like him. So.
I've gotten someone said I look like Childish Gambino once, and I was like,
Ooh,
"You're
they fucking lying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, where did you? Where?
Childish Gambino?
Yes.
Oh
and I'm
my
like, you're
gosh.
That's not even
stupid.
close.
You're stupid.
That's
I've gotten Chance the Rapper too, and I'm like, that's
I
because I'm
don't
light skinned.
see that either.
I don't
Your
see
hair
it
was-
either.
I don't
Maybe,
see
none of that shit.
maybe was that when your hair was lower?
No.
Even if it
doesn't-
was, I still don't see
No.
Chance
Only
the
way I
Rapper.
could see him get away with it if your hair was low, but that shit don't.
No,
really
maybe.
I don't see
no,
it.
I don't see that shit either. It's just because I'm light skinned and I have like.
You're lighter than Chance the Rapper.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I don't think Chance is mixed, is he?
No,
No.
that's a full black man.
Yeah.
He's like you.
yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because when I first met you, I swear I thought he was white somewhere in the mix.
No. Well,
Yeah, you
when
kept
I
it up for like 6 months.
when I first
Trying
met
to tell
him, he
you, like,
told me
bro,
he
I'm
was
not
half
white.
Chinese, and I was like, oh, I believed him, and then I found out
told
you were
everybody that.
a fucking liar.
I told one guy I was dating once. I told him I was related to Wendy Williams. He got super excited. And then he even told me we looked alike.
I can see it.
Like, okay,
All right, man.
that's my TT. So it's expected for us to look alike.
Would you guys change the pace real quick? Would you guys ever do steroids?
No. Why?
What's the no?
I
No.
try to understand it personally.
No.
But
I mean, I've been put on steroids for medical reasons, but
Are you? I'm sure you mean
muscle
like
steroids.
the muscle.
Yes,
that's
yes, yes,
different,
yes.
yeah.
That's different. It's like anabolic
No.
steroids.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about
no.
PEDs.
No, there's no reason
No.
to like. No.
not at all.
I wouldn't even want to get that big. And honestly, like steroids don't even like. There's just because you take steroids doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get like nasty huge. Like there's
It just
various
gives you more
reasons.
energy, right?
No, like I don't know.
'Cause
It
you
makes
get
it
the roids
easier
rage
to
and-
like to build muscle, but like you're still obviously working, but like it kind of just makes it like the results are like 2 times what you
Quicker.
would be getting and shit. And like there's all types of different steroids out there that do different shit, you know. But no, I wouldn't take it. Like plus for one reason, I'm not competing in anything, so there's like no point in me taking them, you know. So I know some dudes just take it just because they want to be big as fuck, but that's like body issues that you got going on.
I
you
just
know?
can't see the idea of walking around like this all day.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
people at
It
the
just
gym
looks
like that. I'm like,
uncomfortable.
can you put your arms
You
down?
guys ever
Man.
go to, I'm sure you've been to Fit Nation, right?
No, I've never. Oh, I've been there one time.
Do you ever go to Fit Nation?
I've been to Fit Nation.
So they have a lot of just local gyms around here. I see more Roy heads there than anywhere else. Fieldhouse,
do.
Export. It's just like you got to get custom shirts.
Yeah, pants. You got to
so
shop for
small.
like, certain pants. and
Dude,
it's-
and I for what? Like, I guess some people do it for like bodybuilding competitions, but in my eyes, that's never worth the risk to me.
some people
The
don't
amount
give a
of
fuck, man.
the shit you're gonna do to your
Some
body.
people don't care. I mean,
I asked that because
and
Josh
you know,
Gordon's
there's
got
there's ways to go about doing it. You know, like there's cycles you go on. It's not like you're just like pumping yourself with steroids every day. Like there's cycles you go on, different amounts and shit, different things that do different stuff. You know, so there's like shit that like just gives you more testosterone or gives you like more air, blood flow and shit like that. There's various things, so it's not always like super bad for you, but like yeah, like there's a lot of people that take them and they just abuse it and they die from it, because they just want to
Yeah.
get so big and if it's bodybuilding, even like sports. I mean, there's plenty of like top athletes that I've seen like athletes say like yeah, all the top dudes are on steroids, like are doing steroids.
who's that one? Jose Canseco, right?
Yeah, Jose
Wasn't
Canseco.
A-Rod doing steroids? at
A-Rod
one
got
point?
caught for doing steroids. Jose Canseco pretty much wrote
Very-
a book
Who was
about
that
it.
one guy who
Snitch on everybody.
No.
That was Jose Canseco.
No.
He
Speaking of snitches, he is gonna be free Wednesday.
is walk free.
It's crazy.
It's not?
Yes.
What?
Wednesday,
Yes.
yeah. Free of charge.
I wouldn't say free of charge, but
he's gonna be free Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
That's
Walking,
crazy,
bro.
Yo.
That's what they
Why
say.
are they even like post that? That's just, I feel like they're so dangerous.
I feel like his whole life is
I
going to
feel
be
like
dangerous
as soon
now.
as
he
Because
walks-
if he pops up dead,
as soon as he walks out of that, if I doubt they're probably gonna take him out into some underground tunnel in the back.
but I'm saying
Parking
it's going to be
garage.
hard. It's going to be even harder to kill him because the moment he pop up dead, it's going to get tied back to those people.
Yep.
Half of them are in jail right now, but all the other people who are not in jail,
I don't know. All I know is his life's in danger forever. Now.
forever.
Like,
witness,
I just
witness
couldn't
protection. Doesn't he have a daughter?
Yeah, I think
He
so.
got a kid. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl,
That's
but
scary.
I
Can you
wouldn't
imagine?
be able to do it. I would be. His
Nah.
parents didn't even want to show up to court because they were afraid of their lives.
Yeah, I would be
like,
too. You endangered everybody with
everybody.
your bitch ass actions.
Woo, Lord, maybe
Bitch-ass
be
actions,
with
too.
him,
That shit's
'cause
scary,
that
bro.
ain't it. That ain't it.
Nah, like it's literally damn near everywhere. I mean, he's not gonna be. You're rarely ever gonna see him out in public. Like you're probably not.
Well,
I don't know.
no,
I feel like
he's
we're
probably-
still gonna see him everywhere.
He's just gonna have mad security on him. Didn't
He's
didn't
gonna
he say
have
that
to.
he was gonna have like just hella security?
He's gonna
He's
have
gonna
to.
have to have security.
He's gonna
because-
have to because they offered. I read something somewhere where they offered him to go into witness protection program. He just wouldn't be able to be in the spotlight at all. But he didn't want to do that because he said he still feels he has fans.
He does.
and people
He
who
signed a
wanna
record
listen
deal,
to
so he ain't got no
him.
choice to be out.
Yeah.
Be out and about.
But like, how are you even gonna like hide? Like,
With
I
that
don't know.
thing on your
Maybe
face.
they would
Can't.
like. Maybe they would like take all
They
that
would.
shit
He
off,
would have
but-
to take off his face tattoos and change his hair
Mhm.
and get new
That's
veneers
a
and
process,
shit. Like
too,
it's a
man.
whole
That's a
process. Probably
process.
go under the knife or something.
You'd
like,
have to.
Mm-mm.
Fuck, man. I cannot imagine living that life.
Mm-mm.
No sir.
Troy Way finna get in that ass.
What?
I can't.
You were gonna say something?
About what?
We're talking about steroids, Jose Canseco. You were gonna say something?
Oh yeah, that one guy who won like a bike.
Oh,
Lance
Lance Armstrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
yes.
lied about it.
He
for
did. He
years.
lied
Lied
about it
about
for
that shit.
years.
It's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they
Yeah.
don't they don't necessarily make you huge because he was not like big.
He
whatsoever,
wasn't.
you
He
know?
just needed the energy. So to
Yeah,
say.
man.
Yeah.
So they do all types. Even like getting blood transfers and shit. Like that's illegal too. Like for athletes, like if you're getting, I think it's like deoxygenated blood. Like you're transferring it so it's more oxygen in your blood and shit. Like that's illegal. Like
Yeah.
you can't like. There's all
I
types.
didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh,
Mhm.
there's so
Wow.
much crazy
I know.
shit you can do.
Fucking
already know
Peyton
that.
Manning. He didn't use steroids, but it was
Stem
deer,
cells.
it was like deer antler spray that he was using that would like help recovery.
What?
Yeah, and like at the time that was like illegal and shit like that. You can buy that shit now, like at the store. You know?
Oh, I don't know. It was deer. I thought he was talking about using stem cells for his neck.
It might have been stem cells. Stem
What
cells,
was wrong
but
with
that's
his
like
neck?
He fractured something in the back of his neck.
that's just like medical shit though. Like
Yeah.
they should be using stem cells for all types of shit.
Stem cells are really useful though.
Super
Really, if you
useful.
really think about it.
Super useful.
But I know like one other thing you could do. I don't know if you noticed. You ever like what Kobe Bryant did for his knee. He'll get blood drawn from it. They'll separate it, then they infuse it back into your knee. But he had to go to Germany for
That
that.
all sounds
It
fucking
worked.
painful though. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean it worked.
Hmm.
For I think Dirk Nowitzki did it too.
Alrighty then.
But I mean, there's all kinds of shit you can do. I was listening to a podcast the other day about this one athlete. I think it was Al Harrington. He's had 13 different surgeries.
On what, his knees?
No, just on his body in general with 13 surgeries.
That would not be fun.
Nah,
That
man,
would-
that's a miserable life.
yeah, for real.
Now I understand why Derrick Rose really took his time to kind of like step back and really.
Yeah,
make sure his
man.
life was
And people
straight.
are still shitting on him too. Like, why aren't you playing? Like, bro, like if you tore your ACL, ACL, and all this shit, like you think you're just gonna come back in a week and be like, all right, I'm about to go 100%. Like, come on, get the fuck out.
Question for y'all.
Hmm.
Tory Lanez is going through it with Interscope right now, and he threatened to expose what was actually going on behind that building or behind those doors. What do y'all think is actually going on?
I don't know.
Hard
man.
to
Probably
say.
some
It
shit.
is so hard to say because the music industry is disgusting.
Yeah.
It is.
So
But it all depends on what you want to tolerate.
that part.
What? 'Cause
And from what he said, it was something going against his integrity. So I can only imagine it was something going against his moral code.
Something real
I'd like
yeah.
to see what. I mean, I'd love to hear about it, but probably not gonna come out.
No, probably.
I know it's not because either they finna shut him up.
Or are they gonna take him out?
Yeah, exactly.
Or they gonna pay him the money?
I don't know.
I don't know what the issue is.
I doubt
so.
they're finna release him for his contract though. If he has it, if
He's a cash cow.
exactly.
And there, he's talented. He has a following. Going tour for this huge album. He's a cash cow. Not gonna drop.
I saw that last night, and everybody keep asking the question, well, what's going on? I'm like, you don't even
Probably
know
some
half
like
of
wild
it.
ass sex parties and shit. And
Some satanic ass shit.
drugs, pedophilia and all that shit.
All that weird shit.
All of that weird shit. Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruh, man. fuck, I can't even imagine the types of shit that goes
But-
down
and-
just in
and-
Hollywood in general.
and that's my thing, like,
industry.
At one point in time, like, do our favorite entertainers, people that we look up to, have sat there and witnessed some shit, and just
Oh,
act
I'm
like
sure-
act like they didn't see it
I'm sure,
for
like,
the sake of their
It's just like
success.
when all those kids was coming in the studio with R. Kelly and Jay-Z and them, they saw it. Nobody said anything.
I can say
So
because I mean, if you say something to that, you're pretty much putting your career on the line or killing that shit.
too.
and it's kind of hard to go once you're up there. It's hard to go back. Like,
Yeah,
Like-
because like if like Jay-Z, for example, if he came out and was like, "Oh, that's wrong, this and that," but then everyone's be like, "Okay, well, what about all the years you've been in the industry? Like, you were cool about it up until now." You know what I'm saying? So like, why is it all different now? I don't know. It's just
times are different now, though. That's why
times
it's
are very different. That is very true. That is very
And
true.
then we live in an age of
But
social
I mean,
media.
when was pedophilia ever?
that's
Okay?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right
You
is
know.
right and wrong is
You
wrong.
right.
Yeah.
You
So, I
right.
mean, like,
Pedophilia was never okay,
never.
but it was never allowed to be talked about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's the difference now.
True.
People are talking about it openly. That's even when you are not a celebrity and you're talking to your families about it. Like, a lot of people don't know that their kids are probably being molested until after the fact.
Yeah, because oh yeah, 100%.
Because it's just something that's so hard to talk about. And then on top of that, when you are a kid and you hear your parents say things like, "Oh, if this was to happen to my kid, and I'm going to jail, and I do this and do that," as a kid, that scares you.
Mhm.
You don't want to lose your parents over something that happened to you.
Right, so you don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. You don't say anything, but then when they find out, they be so mad at you,
But all I know is
and,
if
and
my
then they
kid.
blame themselves. Like, it's
Yeah,
a
I
whole
mean, I could
ordeal.
see if my kid told me after the fact, like years after the fact, that something happened. I'd feel like almost like a failure of a parent 'cause I couldn't protect my child. You know what I'm saying? But if they told me when it happened, I'm going to jail.
Oh, easily.
I'm probably gonna kill that person.
Easily. There's a story
about that dude
who beat the fuck out of that guy.
to death for trying
Yeah.
to get into
Oh, he
his
ki- he
daughter's
killed
stall.
him?
Yeah, he killed that dude.
He went
was
to jail
dead.
for murder.
He went to jail for murder.
it was premeditated.
Yeah, it was premeditated because that dude tried to get into
Oh.
the stall of his 16-year-old daughter, and it was the same dude that asked him for some money. So
Isn't that fucking crazy? I can't imagine like the jury like is like, well, I mean, I guess technically, but if I was on the jury, I'd be like, nah, that man is innocent.
Either that or give him a lesser time or something. Like, the
I don't know.
weakest
I
sentence
don't
you
know
can give him.
what they gave him. I do know he
they
went to
gave
jail
him
or
like
prison though.
8 years.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. He probably got all the respect in the world though.
Yeah, but
you know,
But 8 years for murder, that's kind of light, I would assume. I don't know what state it happened or what are the laws, but
I don't know. I feel like-
premeditated
but
murder
looking
holds a
at
longer sentence.
Looking at the dad, he looked like he was crazy. he did.
Yeah.
He did. Like, he had spots all over his face, and I was like, oh, this is not somebody.
Either way, though, man, I'd probably be.
Can't
in the same
blame him.
position.
Yo,
I mean,
I'd be
No,
in the
I
same spot, too.
agree. He was in the
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah,
So-
hell yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Damn. I
But
couldn't
just
even
imagine if that
bro.
happened and she didn't tell him until after the fact. Like,
That's why you gotta let your kids know from the jump, like
You talk to me about
no matter
anything.
what happens, you need to tell me. You know, I'm not gonna look at you
that,
any
but
different.
you also have to be careful as to what you're saying to your kids because your kids be so scared to tell their parents sometimes just based off their reactions.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I feel like you gotta first let them know that you're not. It's not them that you're going to be mad at about what happened. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I
Right.
feel like a lot of kids may feel like, oh, well, they're gonna look at me differently or be upset, but it's like you gotta let them understand that like this is not your, especially in something like that. That's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? And then like, and whatever I'm doing, whatever reaction I have is to protect you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. And like, if I'm not gonna tell them if I would happen to go to jail, I go to jail. But like, if I do, I do. You know, if in that situation, like if I ever found out anybody ever touched my kids in any inappropriate way, I'm freaking the fuck out.
What?
I'm freaking
Yeah,
the fuck
naturally,
out.
of course, 100%. All right, gentlemen, we gotta wrap up. Go give your social medias.
It's pbugs on everything. PB00GS. Instagram, Snapchat, Apple Music. Even though no one's followed me yet, but it's gonna get there.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna get there.
It's gonna happen.
period. Speak that shit into
You
existence.
should put on listen in your bio,
I shouldn't I?
all your bios,
I'm gonna do that.
for sure. Sir.
Excuse me. You already know what it is. Y'all can hit me on all social media platforms at Vontrellduh, because it's Vontrellduh.
Is it just Vontrellduh? Is
Yeah,
there, like,
it's
any
just
underscores?
Vontrellduh. Nope, it's all Vontrellduh.
I hate when people add underscores and shit in their ad names.
I mean,
'Cause I
sometimes
can
you
just
gotta
like to
put-
keep it as
sometimes
simple
you
as
got to.
possible, because it's me. Duh.
Devonn Overstreet on all platforms. ISD and School Detention on YouTube. And see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.